everyone, Paul here. Right, hopefully this is going to be a fairly small video. A while ago when I turned my very first pen, just to show you that, I figure I made a mistake somehow. I think I put the insert in too far, the twist mechanism in too far, and trying to get it out just basically messed the whole thing up. So I then turned an oak one, which now sits on my desk at work, and I'm quite happy with it. Now, when I made this video, somebody suggested to me about buying a pen disassembler kit, and I thought, well, it's the only one that's gone wrong. They're not going to probably be that cheap, so I couldn't really see the point of it. However, when I bought my another batch of pen kits probably about a couple of months ago, I bought a nice 24 karat gold one from Axminster, and they said you needed a certain set of spacers, which I mounted onto the mandrel, turned it all down to the exact spacers. When I put it together, I found that they were wrong. So again, if you can see on there, you can see they're just miles too big, and it turns out that I should have turned that down to the standard spacers that come with a pen mandrel. So I contacted Axminster, and with their usual excellent customer service, they just sent me another pen replacement kit. Now obviously it's a bit frustrating because you spent all that time, it's not the expense, all that time producing the actual pen, and really, I mean, I can't sell that, that's for sure. It's been sitting indoors, being used indoors. So when I then made some more pens probably a couple of 3 weeks ago to sell at work, you've probably seen on a previous video where I made the pen box and everything like that. At the end there I mentioned it. One of the pens I turned was a lovely tulip, and when I then put the nib on as normal, put the twist mechanism in, put me pen refill in to check the depth, and it was at that point I then found that the thread on the twist mechanism which holds the pen refill had gone. So I tried to force it out with a pair of mole grips, and the whole thing just disintegrated, and I don't know whether you can even see in there whether it's actually showing or not. I'm left with half the mechanism inside. So what I'm going to do here, what I did this last week was I then went online to eBay and bought myself a pen disassembler tool. Now the pen disassembler tool consists of one thin bar, which the idea is to drop down between the inside the twist mechanism to push out your nib, and then you get these other two pieces, which one you put over your twist mechanism, and this rod from inside to then slowly push out the twist mechanism. Now it comes with a nice set of instructions. First time I've used this, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and get the two pieces out from here, from this tulip one, and finish it off. So I've raided another pen kit and got another twist mechanism, and see if I can do this. Right, so the first part I need to do now is get the pen nib off. So the idea is that you use this thin rod. Obviously if I had a full twist mechanism there, it would slot down inside the twist mechanism. You keep hold of the pen, and you're supposed to give that a hard tap with a hammer, obviously minding where your twist mechanism, your pen nib disappears to, because it's possibly going to go flying across the workshop. Now unfortunately my two hammers are not in the workshop. I have a rubber mallet, which really is going to be of no use, and probably a bit overkill. I have a lump hammer. So I'm going to give this one a go first. So the idea is you're supposed to obviously keep a firm hold of it, and it's not budging at the minute. Oh, we're starting to move. And there we go. that's just flown out into my cup of tea. So I'll be back in a sec when I retrieve the pen nib. Well, I suppose that was one way to make sure I drank my cup of tea while it was still hot. So that's the pen nib out, undamaged, cleaned up from after being in my cup of tea. I still have my original blank there. Now my only concern here is, because that's already obviously been forced in there, and the brass tube would have probably expanded, as to when you put that back in, is that likely to need any gluing? That's actually fairly tight fit at the minute, so I'm hoping that when I put that back in again, that's going to be okay. Right, so the next bit, it says here, after the tip is off the pen, use the thicker shaft B to remove the pen mechanism. Place the shaft into the barrel where you just removed the tip. So that goes up there. Insert the pen mechanism into the retainer from the tapered end. Make sure that the retainer makes contact with only the brass tube end, not the turned material. Now center this set up between the jaws of a bench vise. Squeeze slowly as the pen mechanism is forced into the retainer. Well, firstly, I don't obviously have my pen mechanism on there, so that may well prove rather interesting. Second thing, I don't have a bench vise for this, and I find that that's going to be rather odd. So the idea would be that you would obviously put the twist mechanism in there first of all, and then bring this up that way. So hopefully what I'm going to do is try and line this up as best as possible and slowly see if this pushes through. I've certainly got some movement there, and there we go, it's starting to appear, so at least I've got something to put it on now. And there you go, it's got so far. Right now it's pushing the whole thing right into the vise. Let's just tighten this up a bit more. And we seem to have come to a standstill. There you go. And what's that done? It's pulled out my entire brass tube. Well, that's glued pretty well, isn't it? There it is, it's popped out. Now, how you would get this out, I'm guessing that your twist mechanism, you're going to have to push out this way. So right, let's use the lathe again just to see if we can force that bit back out. Boy, that gets in there tight. Well, it's out, but I've got to say that that rod is far too tight. Right, so I have my broken part twist mechanism out. It has dislodged my brass tube. However, because obviously I've had to go to another pen kit for this, I could always just put in a fresh brass tube as well, because, like I say, my only worry there is how much of this has actually been stretched out when the inserts were put in. So that's basically it. That was a bit tight. I'd say the hardest bit is pushing the twist mechanism out, because this really does appear fairly tight on there. So that, whether the tolerances are very good or not, I'm not sure, but it does seem fairly tight. So I'm gonna repair this again, and at least I'll have a working pen. So while I'm at it, I want to see if I can totally dismantle this one. So we're going to do the same sort of thing again, because at least this way I've got to do the nib and the top. So the idea is, take your top half off, take the centre band off. You can take your pen refill out using the thin rod, so it slots down the middle of the mechanism there, and just make sure it locates itself into the bottom there. So hopefully starting to budge, and it's out, and it's got my tube again. So it just shows how well glued they are. So the danger of this is, by the looks of it, it will dislodge your tube. So I suppose the thing I can do now is take that off and try and get this off the tube. But then you've got to have a good right, that's now starting to come. So we've got a big gap there. Nearly out. And there we have the nib out. So we'll try again for this. This should by rights sit over there. Right, so if we reload this in, that should go in there, which is better now. Our bar goes inside the tube, and this time hopefully it will all push out. let's just see. And there we have it. Now you've just got to get your pen mechanism out of here. Hopefully without ruining it. Give it a gentle tap. One mechanism removed. So for the top, again you use the same large bar and try and tap that out. That's now starting to move, and there we have that one out in one piece. So let's say if that goes back in there, it looks like it's going to force fairly tightly. So at least this one I can re-glue me centre, put that back on the pen mandrel, take it down to the proper size and finish the pen off. When I searched for this Disassembler kit on eBay, I only found 2 of them. This was the second one I found, which was a little bit cheaper. I think I paid just under 12 UK pounds for it, something like about 11.75. So don't just find the first one, click buy it now. Do have a proper search around, because I mean, just for the sake of a couple more minutes on the computer, you will find a slightly cheaper one. So in summary, it does the job, not always perfectly. The tulip one I pulled out, it knocked the brass tube out, because it does require quite a force to push the pen nib out. On there, the gold one, again, it knocked one of the brass tubes out, cleaned it up, cleared the inside of the wooden blank, glued it back in, all gone in fine, and I've since turned this down now to the proper size, ready for finishing. I am going to do something else with this, which I will record in the next video of something else I bought. So in summary, was it worth it? I've got to say yes. £12 thereabouts. It's not expensive. It may not save every single pen, but I think it's worthwhile having a go. So certainly worthwhile buying to add to your pen kit collection. If this is your first time here, I do regular videos, not really reviews, it's just my way of using some of the tools. I do a vast array of things, very rarely do I repeat things, so please do hit the subscribe button, because I'm constantly trying new things. For my existing subscribers, thank you very much for watching again, and I would appreciate it if everybody could hit the like, hit the share button, and below please do leave a comment, because if you've used one of these, thought about getting one of these, got any questions about it, then certainly do ask. So thanks a lot for watching. See you on the next project video. Bye.